New face arrived in Maple Hollow, a town so quiet that even rumors sounded like thunder. Dr. Evan Cole, with his calm voice and disarming smile, became the talk of every porch and coffee shop. He offered free checkups, helped elderly neighbors, and laughed softly at everyone's jokes. A perfect man in every way. But perfection hides hunger. Late at night, faint cries echoed from his cellar, swallowed by the wind. Mrs. Langley swore she saw him walking behind his house at 3 a.m., dragging something wrapped in a white sheet. The next morning, he greeted her kindly, his smile flawless, his hands steady. No one wanted to believe the fear crawling beneath their skin. And when young Emily vanished after visiting the good doctor, the town turned its eyes away. Because evil rarely looks dangerous when it wears a smile. Children started disappearing one by one, and every parent found comfort in Dr. Cole's words, soft, reassuring, and hollow. He promised to help search for them, even join the police on their rounds. Yet, behind his kind eyes, a flicker of something ancient stirred. He walked calmly among grieving families, absorbing their pain like it nourished him. The whispers grew louder. The missing kids had all been to his clinic. One brave boy escaped, trembling, his clothes torn, his eyes filled with horror. He said the doctor's shadow moved differently from his body, stretched, twisted, alive. No one believed him. The sheriff dismissed it as trauma. That night, the boy's house burned to ashes, and Dr. Cole stood among the onlookers, his smile reflecting the fire. The town prayed for safety, never realizing they were praying to the monster himself. Hannah Reed arrived in Maple Hollow chasing a story about missing children, not realizing she was stepping into a nightmare dressed in politeness. Dr. Cole greeted her with warmth, his charm disarming, his smile unending. She found herself both intrigued and uneasy. Something about his stillness felt rehearsed. As she dug through archives, she discovered a photograph from 1925. Standing among the town's founders was a man identical to the doctor. Same eyes, same ageless face, same impossible smile. The deeper she searched, the more resistance she met. People defended him fiercely, almost blindly, as if bound by an invisible thread. At night, she dreamt of him standing at her door, whispering, "You can trust me." The next morning, she found a single rose on her porch, fresh, blood-red, and wet at the stem. It wasn't dew. It was something darker. Rain poured as Hannah crept into Dr. Cole's basement, guided by the faint hum of voices below. The air thickened with rot and chemicals. Her flashlight trembled in her grip as she descended into a chamber of horrors. Rows of preserved faces, each sealed in glass jars, frozen in perfect smiles. Their eyes shimmered as if alive, watching her. On the walls hung pages from a journal describing an ancient being that feeds on warmth, thrives on trust. She realized this creature had worn countless faces over centuries. Suddenly, a soft breath brushed her neck, followed by that familiar voice. "Curiosity is dangerous, Ms. Reed." Her light flickered out, and in the darkness, his smile appeared, glowing faintly like a predator's eyes. She screamed, but the sound was swallowed whole by the house that had already devoured so many before her. Maple Hollow changed overnight. The townspeople spoke less, smiled more. They moved like sleepwalkers, faces eerily identical, calm, peaceful, empty. Dr. Cole became the town's quiet savior, attending every funeral, blessing every birth. The sheriff, once skeptical, now called him a miracle worker. A few resisted, whispering that something unnatural had taken root, but they didn't last long. Their bodies were found days later, smiles carved permanently onto their faces. An old priest returned to town, trembling as he warned, "He's not a man. He's hunger made human." But no one listened. The priest vanished that same week. Maple Hollow looked perfect from the outside. Blooming gardens, polite neighbors, laughter in the air. But perfection is the first sign that something monstrous is controlling the strings. The boy who once escaped returned with an FBI agent, haunted yet determined to end the nightmare. They broke into the doctor's house under cover of night, discovering rows of jars filled with preserved human eyes, each one still moving faintly. The walls pulsed, almost breathing, and from the shadows, Dr. Cole stepped forward, unscathed, smiling. The agent raised his gun and fired. Once, twice, 3 times. Each bullet passed through him like smoke. His voice deepened, layered with something ancient. "I don't kill," he said softly. "I consume what you willingly give." The boy clutched the agent's arm, screaming for him to run, but the agent's expression melted into calm. Slowly, the same peaceful smile spread across his face. Evil, it seemed, didn't need violence, only trust. The FBI returned in force, declaring Maple Hollow under lockdown. But when they entered, the entire town smiled back at them, silent, synchronized, unblinking. Fires erupted as resistance grew. The agent who survived tried to burn the house, convinced the entity was trapped within. Flames devoured the walls, but in the blaze stood Dr. Cole, untouched, his grin wide enough to seem inhuman. As the town burned, people walked willingly into the fire, their lips curved upward as if dying pleased them. The agent screamed that they couldn't be saved, pressing the detonator to level the place. When the smoke cleared, nothing remained but ashes and one perfect footprint leading away from the ruins. The nightmare wasn't over. It had simply found new ground to walk on. Months later, in the bustling city of Chicago, a new free clinic opened its doors. The man in charge greeted every patient with warmth, compassion, and a smile that made people feel seen. Mothers trusted him, children adored him, and reporters praised his generosity. One afternoon, a child drew a picture of him, but the crayon lines showed too many teeth, too many eyes. His mother laughed, saying, "Kids have wild imaginations." In the reflection of the clinic window, his face flickered, human one second, monstrous the next. As night fell, he whispered into the mirror, "Maple Hollow fed me well, but cities always taste better." The lights dimmed, and his reflection smiled back, wider, sharper. Evil hadn't been defeated, it had evolved, and it was still wearing the same gentle smile.